My name is Frida, and I had everything a woman could ask for. Stability, love, and a faithful husband named Godson. But deep inside I craved more. Not more love, not more care, just more excitement. So I searched for it in the wrong places with the wrong people, learning things I had no business knowing. Then one night I looked into the eyes of the man I betrayed and said, "Baby, I want to try a new style." What he did next didn't just surprise me, it shattered me. This is the story of how one reckless desire nearly destroyed everything, and how love in its rawest form left me speechless. Before I continue, let me pause for a while and appreciate you all that have been so dedicated to this channel. You all have been so amazing and I am really grateful. Your countless support will never go unnoticed. Your comments, likes are very important to this channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to this family and subscribe for more beautiful stories. Now let me take you to the deepest part of this emotional, heartbreaking and betrayal story. If someone told me that my curiosity would ruin the only good thing in my life, I would have laughed in their face. Me? Frida? I had it all. A faithful husband, a beautiful home, and a marriage many women prayed for. But temptation has a voice and I listened to it. Until the day I told my husband I wanted a new style, and his response left me speechless. Godson was the type of man every woman dreamed of. Tall, handsome, respectful, and a provider. He never raised his voice, never raised his hand. He made sure I had everything I needed. But there was one problem: he was too simple, too traditional, especially in the bedroom. In our third year of marriage, I started feeling like something was missing. At first, I thought I was just overthinking it. But the more I scrolled through social media, the more I saw women talking about how exciting their love lives were. My man flipped me like a pancake, one post read. "We tried 6 positions last night," said another. And here I was, doing the same old thing every time. That's when I met Ruby. She was my colleague, fun, bold, and full of stories. Over lunch, she would share things I had never even imagined. "Girl, you're still doing missionary?" She laughed one day, nearly choking on her soda. "Frida, come with me this weekend. Let me introduce you to someone who can teach you everything." I should have said no. But I didn't. That weekend, Ruby took me to a discreet apartment in the city. There, I met Tanya, a woman who taught modern intimacy classes. What started as a harmless session turned into something deeper. I was hooked. I didn't just learn styles. I started practicing them, with other men. It started with just one. A man from Tanya's class. He was gentle and knew exactly how to touch me. For the first time in years, I felt alive. One man turned into 2, and 2 into 3. I kept telling myself it was just to learn, just to explore so I could bring something exciting back to my marriage. Godson noticed a change. He said I looked happier, more confident. I would smile and say, "I've just been taking care of myself." But the guilt? It was always there, hiding behind my eyes every time he held me. Then one night, as we lay in bed, I decided to come clean, sort of. "Baby," I said, brushing my fingers against his arm. "Can we try something new tonight?" He looked at me a bit surprised. "New how?" "New styles," I said softly. "I've been reading, watching videos, and I just want to explore with you. Keep things fresh." He blinked. "Where's this coming from?" "I just want us to enjoy each other more." "Isn't that a good thing?" There was a pause. A long, heavy pause. Then he smiled. "Sure, Frida. I'm open to it." Relief washed over me. I kissed him, already imagining how the night would go. But what happened after that was nothing like I expected. The next morning he left early. No kiss, no breakfast talk. Just a cold silence. And then everything began to fall apart. I thought everything would be fine. I thought bringing new energy into our bedroom would light a new fire in our marriage. But I was wrong. Godson changed slowly at first, then all at once. After I suggested trying new styles, he agreed but never followed through. That night he turned me down, saying he was tired. The next day he left before I woke up. No usual morning coffee, no goodbye kiss. Just silence. First I told myself he needed time. Maybe I caught him off guard. Maybe he needed to process it. But days passed, then weeks, and the distance between us grew like a crack in glass, spreading, widening, impossible to ignore. One night I tried to bring it up again. "Godson," I said, sitting beside him on the couch, "is everything okay between us?" He looked at me with a blank face. "What do you mean? You've been cold, distant. Ever since I mentioned trying new things, it's like you shut me out." He stood up slowly. "I've just been busy." "No, you haven't," I snapped, feeling frustration bubble inside me. "You've been avoiding me. Tell me the truth, Godson. Did I do something wrong?" He turned to me, eyes darker than I'd ever seen them. "That night when you asked for a new style, I started thinking. Thinking about what? About you. About us. About how someone changes so suddenly. How a woman who used to blush at the word sex suddenly wants to twist and turn like she's been to a circus." I felt my stomach drop. He stared at me hard. "Where did you learn all that, Frida?" I froze. My mouth opened but nothing came out. He laughed bitterly. "You think I didn't notice the perfume that wasn't mine? The showering twice a day? The sudden late meetings? Godson, you cheated on me, didn't you?" My lips trembled. "It wasn't like that. You slept with other men." His voice cracked. "And then you wanted to bring what you learned back to me like some kind of gift." I broke down. I couldn't hold the tears. "I was lonely, Godson. You were always working. We were doing the same thing every night. I just wanted something new. And instead of talking to me, you gave yourself to strangers?" Silence. He turned away. "You betrayed me, Frida. You didn't just cheat, you studied it. You trained for it. Like it was a sport." I stood up begging. "Please, I'm sorry. I was trying to fix us. I made a mistake, but I still love you." He looked back at me with empty eyes. "Love? You call that love? You humiliated me." I reached for him, but he stepped back. "You know what hurts most?" he said quietly. "That I would have done anything for you. If you had just been honest, if you had said, 'I need more,' I would have tried. I would have read every book, watched every video, anything to make you happy. But you didn't give me a chance." I dropped to my knees sobbing. "Please don't leave me." But he walked out. For the first time since we married, he didn't come home that night. The house was too quiet. Every creak, every tick of the clock echoed like a scream. Godson didn't return that night. Or the next. I called, texted, cried, and prayed, but he never answered. My heart shattered every time his name flashed on my screen without a reply. I sat on the living room floor wearing the same clothes for 2 days. I hadn't eaten. I barely slept. All I could think about was how I broke the man who loved me. I looked around the home we built together. The wedding photo still hanging, the throw pillows he picked, the corner where we used to sit and talk about our dreams. Now it all felt like a museum of a life I destroyed. 3 days later he came home. It was evening. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue across the floor. I heard the front door open and my heart nearly stopped. I jumped up and ran to him, but he didn't hug me. He didn't even look me in the eye. He walked in like I was a stranger. "Godson, please talk to me." He placed a white envelope on the table. "What is that?" I asked, panic rising in my chest. He sat down slowly. "Not what you think." I held the envelope with shaky hands. It wasn't divorce papers. It was something else. Inside was a letter. His handwriting. I read. "Frida, I've taken a week to think. To cry. To break. To understand. You betrayed me in a way I never saw coming. But I won't raise my voice. I won't curse you. I loved you too much for that. I gave you my heart, my trust, my name. I kept things simple, yes, but it was pure. It was real. You went outside looking for excitement, for new styles. And you found them. But what did you lose? You lost me. But not forever. Here's the truth. I've also been thinking about what I lacked, what I didn't see, and where I went wrong. I became predictable. I assumed love was enough. I see now that I stopped courting you. And I am sorry for that. So here's what I'm offering: one chance. Not to forget the past, but to build something stronger. A new start with honesty at the center. If you can be that honest woman again, if you can be loyal, I'll fight for us. But if you ever betray me again, I will walk away. No words, no letters, just silence. You have one heart left to break. Make your choice. Godson. By the time I finished reading, I was on the floor again, sobbing. But this time not from guilt, but from grace. The man I hurt beyond words was still offering me love. When I looked up, he was standing there, tears in his eyes too. Not of weakness, but of pain and hope. I walked to him slowly. I don't deserve this. He nodded. You don't. But love isn't always about deserving. Sometimes it's about fighting. If you're willing to fight for us, I'll stay. I fell into his arms, holding him like I never wanted to let go again. That night, we didn't touch each other in the way I had planned weeks ago. We just lay in bed, facing each other, whispering truths and fears. We started over, not as perfect lovers, but as broken people willing to rebuild. I deleted every number. I cut off Ruby. I told Tanya never to contact me again. I started therapy, and Godson came to a few sessions too. Weeks turned to months. And slowly, that spark I had searched for outside, I began to find it again, with the man who had every right to leave me, but chose love instead. And now, when I look back at that day I told him I wanted a new style, I realize it wasn't about styles or techniques. It was a cry for something deeper. And his response? It left me speechless. Not because he yelled, but because he loved me when I least deserved it. And that kind of love is the rarest style of all. If you find this story interesting and relatable, subscribe and hit on notifications. Your comments and likes are highly important for the growth of this channel. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.